What's up, guys? Thanks for watching another Jaguars United film breakdown. I'm excited because today we are breaking down the Jags' newest linebacker, Ventrell Miller. I really think you're going to like the tape, and I really think you're going to like what he has put on film. Before we get into that, make sure you follow all of the social media, Instagram, Twitter, all of that, and subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you get notifications when we do live shows and other film breakdowns come out. All right, well, without further ado, let's jump right into it. All right, before we look at the film, a couple things about Ventrell Miller. He was picked in the 4th round by the Jaguars at pick 121, and he measured in at 6 foot 221. And he really uses that frame as a traditional Mike inside linebacker that's really stout against the run. He's what I would call a high-risk, high-reward player because in 2020, I mean, he looked like an all-American linebacker, led the team in tackles, 88 tackles, 7.5 for loss, 3.5 sacks. Really good covering receivers and tight ends and running backs. Then in 2021, he tore his bicep tendon in week 2. And then in 2022, he fractured the outside of his foot in week 2. Now, he went on to play all of 2022 with that fractured foot, but you could tell on the film he just wasn't the same guy as he was in 2020. Still had 74 tackles, still 8.5 for loss. Was still the captain of the defense and told everyone where to go and really stout against the run. Just wasn't the same athletically as he was in 2020 with all those injuries. The strengths of his game is he's really strong and tough on the inside against the run. Doesn't overrun gaps. Really good at reading his keys and reading where the play is going. He naturally gets to the right spot. It's kind of hard to block him. Linebackers had a lot of issues, or linemen had a lot of issues getting to the second level and blocking him. Plays with balance. Squares up with tackles, a willing tackler, a lot of things that I like to see. And the biggest thing for the Jags is he's what's called a 4-phase special teams guy, basically meaning he could play on all the special teams if we need him to. But playing behind a Luakon, I think he has the ability to kind of maybe mature into a contributor on our defense. And so it'll definitely be something to look out for as we watch him develop. Another thing I think it's worth noting is a lot of the quarterbacks he faced in college weren't traditional NFL-style offenses or quarterbacks. A lot of like spread, scrambling quarterbacks, which kind of made him and asked him to do things I don't think his skill set is specifically designed to do. So another thing that we're going to be looking at as he makes the transition to the NFL. Well, let's get to the tape and see what he's got on film. All right, this first clip is from the Utah game, and the Utah game I think is one of the best games he had as a Gator. And here you're going to see his ability to kind of find the gap and then also find the back while avoiding the block. And he does a pretty good job here. So if you take a look at where he's at, he's lined up in his traditional Mike backer set. Utah comes out in 13 personnel with 3 tight ends. So basically it's going to be a run-heavy formation there in ace. It's 2nd and 9. So the Gators are thinking run all the way. They're actually lined up in an over front, which just basically means the nose tackle is lined up on the outside shoulder of the center to the weak side of the field. They have 2 guys to the strong side, kind of expecting a run here to the outside. But if you split the field in half here, you'll see that the Mike backer, the nose tackle, and then these 2 outside guys are responsible for everything here. Now, that's a tall task when you have this much field to work with. So they're going to kind of be on alert here, and basically what's going to end up happening is the flow of the play is going to kind of go this way, but it's going to be designed to kind of hit here. And then what you're going to end up with is tackle Braden Daniels is going to be responsible for blocking Ventrell Miller. Now, Braden Daniels went into the 4th round of the Commanders here. So watch, we'll play it through here, and you're going to see Ventrell Miller sidesteps, makes a play, runs his feet to the backfield. Now, it looks like a traditional play that a Mike backer should make, but if you kind of look at, you break it down in parts to kind of see what he does, you can kind of see what he does well here, right? So if you take a look at him here in the Mike backer spot, he's going to kind of shuffle his feet moving downhill because, again, the whole team's expecting a run in this situation. But you're going to see at this point here, he realizes and assesses that Braden Daniels is probably going to be the guy who's coming after him, right? So he kind of gets held up here, kind of moving here. There is a tight end kicking here. So he assesses that the play kind of wants to hit in this B gap right in here. So what he's going to do is he's going to keep his eyes in the backfield, take a little lateral step to evade the tackle, little lateral step. Then he sees the gap. At this point, he's going to see where the back wants to go with the ball. He wants to go right here in the middle. He's going to attack it, run his feet, good hit there, gain is 0. Can feel the blocks where they're coming from, can evade. I mean, like I said in the beginning, he's really slippery. It's something, a weird attribute or a weird term I've never used to describe any player when I think about it. But he is slippery, man. He like does a good job of not getting blocked, but then still finding the ball carrier and making a tackle in the backfield. And you'll see that over and over again in this film. All right, here you're going to see him make a tackle for loss, kind of playing in space here. So they have him in the Mike back position, and I mean, he's pretty spaced out. Missouri was a really pass-heavy offense here. They're in a traditional college offense. They're in pistol set, 10 personnel, 2x1, 2 receivers out here, 1 receiver out here. So, I mean, they're kind of could be expecting pass or run in this situation. But watch it play out here. You're going to see the play starts to move out to the outside, some sort of outside zone looking run. The guard's job is to kind of get the nose tackle here and then move up to the next level and get Ventrell Miller. And then the center is supposed to take over duties on the nose tackle there. Missouri doesn't do a great job locking this up, and you see that the nose tackle does get penetration into the backfield, making the play bounce to the outside. But what I want to kind of focus on here is Ventrell Miller here. Take a look at him here. He's going to eventually have to evade this guard here. And again, this is another situation of him being slippery, right? He gets here into the open field. He realizes who's coming to block him, gives him a little stick move to the outside, and then rips to the inside and gets to the carrier for a tackle for loss. Now we're going to call this a rip move or a swim move. I mean, it's good technique. It's a nice job of not letting him get his hands on him. And that's something that Ventrell Miller did time and time again, is he doesn't let the offensive lineman get their hands on him. And then he's able to accelerate quickly in short spaces right here and then get to the backfield. Now, this play was doomed from the start because of Missouri's inability to block it up really anywhere. But regardless, this is the kind of thing that we see Ventrell Miller do, is get into the backfield, not allow the ball carrier to get back to the line of scrimmage because he's able to get to the backfield without getting blocked. So if he can do this in the NFL and he can evade NFL offensive linemen the way he does college offensive linemen, then he could give us something really, especially on run looks. All right, this is the very next play of the game, and you're going to see Missouri says, okay, it didn't work to the right. Let's try it to the left, right? They're going to be in the exact same formation, that 10 pistol. They have now they're going 1x2, so they literally just flipped the play. Offensive coordinator got a little lazy here, but they block it up a tad better here, right? So Ventrell Miller again in space in that Mike linebacker position, and they're going to run the little outside zone here to the left. And Ventrell Miller, you're going to see him kind of come downhill, scrape, and then make a play on the ball here. So take a look here. We'll play it out first. Shuffle, gets there, accelerates. 2 tackles for loss back-to-back here. Now this time they're going to put the center on him. What I like here is, again, right here, when he comes downhill initially at the snap, right, he doesn't know what the play is going to be. He doesn't know where it's going to hit. He doesn't know what gap they're looking to hit the run through. So he's going to kind of get in this position. He's going to kind of be patient. He's going to kind of mirror the back. He's going to shuffle. Again, not even really paying attention to the fact that the center is coming at him. The center is 2 yards away. So in theory, the center should be able to reach this backer and block him and at least give I think it's Cody Schrader, a chance to hit here outside. Now we're going to see a poor block here. There's probably going to be a hold here. But regardless, he's going to kind of assess what's happening. He's going to shuffle, and accelerate. Get there, and then, again, when he makes contact with ball carriers, I mean, he brings the thunder. I mean, he really does hit hard. Does a good job of tackling and wraps up. Even when we'll see some clips later when he has to do some like cut tackles around the feet or ankles, does a good job wrapping those up too. So gets his hands on you, he's going to tackle, does again another good job of assessing the play, evading the block, and then making a tackle for loss. All right, so I really like his ability to take on blocks and then still keep his eyes on the ball carrier. Like when I'm coaching or looking for a linebacker, that's kind of what I'm looking for instinctually. Like, can you take on a block? Are you willing to take on a block and then also keep your eyes in the backfield and find the ball carrier? Because when you're playing Mike linebacker or any sort of inside linebacker, you're going to have to engage blocks and you're going to have to disengage blocks, and then you're going to have to find the ball carrier. So here you're going to see him lined up at the Mike backer here. You're going to see his a little bit more support here on the interior with another weak side linebacker here. And then Texas A&M is going to be lined up in 11 personnel because they have 1 tight end here. This is a staple of Jimbo Fisher's offense. He loves to run this little split inside zone, right? And he'll bring this blocker, tight end, fullback, whatever, across the formation up into as a lead blocker into the gap. Jimbo Fisher loves this play. You see him do it all the time. So you're going to essentially see this lead blocker get up in the zone. And this can be hard for Mike linebackers because look, when you're reading your keys, what it's called, so pre-snap, when you're looking at what has happening in the play. Well, when you're a Mike linebacker, you're looking at what's called this triangle here. And it's this triangle right here. So this will tell you what's happening with the play, like what happens with the quarterback in the backfield and what are the guards in the center doing. So a lot of times coaches will run this guy from out here to kind of not expect you to see the block coming. When we did the Brendan Strange breakdown, we saw he was really good at this type of block here. So take a look here. Ventrell Miller again at the Mike backer. And at the snap, he's going to read the run. He's going to come downhill. You know, not the greatest block, but still, I mean, he's willing to engage it, right? And it's just stronger than the tight end there. He's there. He engages the block. Maybe not have seen the guy coming. And look what he's able to do, right? He sees that the ball carrier is here, keeps his eyes up, engages the tight end, keeping his inside shoulder free because he knows that's the shoulder he's going to have to make the tackle with. Keeps it free, wraps up, and this play could have hit for probably 7-8 yards if Ventrell Miller doesn't do what he does here. It's a powerful back there, able to kind of run his feet, and just shows the stopping power of Ventrell Miller there. Does a great job. Tackle feels like he was held. Doesn't matter. Ventrell Miller is there to wrap it up. Good job of engaging the block, keeping your eyes in the backfield. All right, last play we're going to look at for Ventrell Miller in run support. Again, back to the Utah game. And I actually really like this play that Utah runs, but this kind of shows us what Ventrell Miller can do when it comes to his strength and as like a strong Mike backer here, right? So we're going to see Ventrell Miller in the Mike back spot here. And Utah comes out in like a 12 personnel, right? They got two tight ends here. And this is going to be an interesting play. Now, it's 3rd and 3. We're in the 4th quarter, 9 minutes left. It's a 3-point game. Florida's up, and this was a good game. And so you're going to see here a really good play design where the Utah tackle is going to kick out and push this edge rusher to the outside. Then they're going to pull the guard and the tight end up into this gap here, right? So let's take a look at what happens here. Nice little play. All right, now this is blocked up pretty well by Utah. Okay, this is blocked up pretty well. And you can't really tell because it's kind of hard to see from this angle, but there's a gap right here that's open. And basically it's going to come down to Blue Stewart versus Ventrell Miller. Now, this is Blue Stewart's a big guy. I mean, 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's a pretty big back. He runs pretty aggressively too. So you're going to see it comes down to them two in the lane. Bang! Held up by Ventrell Miller. Runs his feet. I think they actually end up giving Utah the first down on this from a bad spot. But look at Ventrell Miller's strength here of like, there's a lot going on, right? We call this like a lot of window dressing as a defense coordinator because there's a lot of different things going on, a lot of pulling offensive linemen, getting caught up in the wash is something we may say about this linebacker here. Because at this point right here, Ventrell Miller has overrun the gap. Now, I can't really blame him because, again, this is a skinny little gap here. It's just a pretty creative play by Utah to hit up inside right here. But even though he does slightly overrun the gap, he's off balance here. He's still going to find his way back to the lane, square up in time, and then run his feet at contact. I mean, this is a strong play from a Mike backer here. Run him back, no thank you. Not on my watch, says Ventrell Miller. I mean, he's able to really lay the wood here and drive his feet on a big back, just long enough for his team to come and help and support and push him back. So this is what an NFL Mike linebacker has to do. And I know people like the sexy, fast guys who can cover tight ends and backs out of the backfield and things like that. But when it comes down to it, and what Doug Peterson was looking for is he's looking for a linebacker who can do this, who can overrun the gap, reset his feet, find the back, and then drive him back by running his feet backwards. I love it. Great job. If we can do this in Jacksonville, when we may have gotten a little late round steal here. All right, here we're going to see Ventrell Miller in pass coverage here. And I like this play a lot. It's from 2020, right? When I was talking about in the intro, high risk, high reward, this is kind of what I think the Jags are hoping he can get back to. Now, back in 2020, he did play more of kind of a will linebacker role, more an outside backer type role in that defense. But here you're going to see him pretty much manned up with Jalen Wyndemire. And Wyndemire was just recently cut from the Colts practice squad a couple months ago, actually. But you're going to see Texas A&M in a 12-gun personnel. They have two tight ends, one running back here in the backfield. And this is a really athletic tight end. You're going to see him run down the field in a pretty deep out route. So this was a pretty well-designed play by A&M. Here you're going to see Good release by the tight end. Ventrell Miller on the inside, breaks on the ball, and makes a great play. I mean, almost comes up with an interception. And again, for a guy who a lot of experts say can't cover tight ends, does a pretty good job here, man. And again, this is, an athletic version that I think the Jags are hoping he can get back to. We're going to see like a different angle here in a second. And you're going to see the great play that he makes here. He disappointed himself for not making the play. You're going to see a little robot dance here, beep, boop, beep, boop. But here we're going to see, again, good release here by Windemeyer, stays on his inside shoulder, breaks on the ball. I mean, that's a good play. I mean, that's good coverage there from a guy who, quote unquote, can't cover, right? So this is what the Jags are hoping he can do. That's a hard route to cover. I mean, those outside routes are insanely hard to cover. A good throw, good catch. Some coaches would say they're impossible to cover. Good job here of staying on the tight end, making a play, undercutting the route. I mean, again, shows a lot of natural tendencies that we teach DBs to do, which is like really promising for a guy who people don't expect to cover anybody. So that's promising for me, and I hope he can get back to this. All right, now a scouting report says that he's not going to be able to cover running backs and slot receivers in the NFL. And maybe. But there is some tape that shows that it's a little encouraging. Again, back to the Utah game. We're going to see him in the Mike backer position here again. Utah is just 3rd and 9. So Utah's obvious passing situation. They're in 10 personnel, 1 back. They're in 2-by-2. And what they're going to do here is they're going to pre-snap motion the running back to the opposite side of the field. Now, this doesn't seem like a big deal when you're watching the game in real time, but when you're a Mike linebacker and your job is to cover the running back out of the backfield, him flipping sides actually kind of changes what you're doing. It kind of changes your assignments here. And there's a promising technique here that I kind of like out of Ventrell Miller. And again, a lot of the basis of his film comes from his 2022 film. And as I said in the intro, like I think his 2020 film is more indicative of what he'll be in the NFL because it shows more of his athleticism, pre-injury, and things like that. So here you're going to see here, they're going to run a little running back Texas route. So the running back's going to kind of show block at the snap here. So Ventrell Miller's kind of caught between, is he going to release outside? Is he going to block? Should I blitz? And so he's going to be patient. He's going to read what happens. And essentially, he's going to run this little Texas route. Now, this Texas route is a killer against linebackers who, quote unquote, can't cover, right? Especially if you have a speedy receiving back. I mean, this can get you 10 yards easily in this situation. So what I like here is when we play it out, Ventrell Miller's going to cover it up, find it, and make a tackle. But here's what kind of goes quick if you're not looking for it. Like right here, okay? So at this point, you're going to see that the running back is going to run for a route. Get back up just a tad. Now, this is kind of advanced level technique right here. So Ventrell Miller, instead of just kind of running flat to where the back is going to go and where he could be, watch what he does. When he plants his foot, he's going to actually open up his foot and his lead step. So this is what we call his drive foot right here. He's going to open his hip and his lead foot open to the field here, right? This is smart. This is a guy that knows, all right, maybe this guy's probably faster than me because he's going the direction that he's looking and I'm looking the opposite direction. So look how he opens up his lead foot and look where his hips open up to, right here. So look, this is smart. This is high IQ football right here. I mean, he's got his hips flipped and turned just in case there's a vertical release here. He can cover it up. Worst case scenario, he opens up too much and then breaks down on the play with his speed and athleticism and acceleration. And look exactly what happens. That exact thing, right? Now, he doesn't get too far upfield. He doesn't get too open to the square to the field. I mean, just a good play overall here. Tackles him in the backfield, wags his finger, Dikembe Mutombo, no thank you, 4th down. I like this play just because this is the type of stuff that I like, okay? This is against Tennessee. Super funky formation by Tennessee, like a 10 formation gun stack. They got these receivers stacked out here. I mean, Hendon Hooker had himself quite a day against Florida. But here you're going to see, I guess we probably should point out where he is. I mean, we all know where he's at, right? Same spot every time, that Mike linebacker spot. This is 2022. And then here you're going to see just a quick little toss out to the, I think it's tight end there, right there. And so, I mean, this throws down the field pretty good, 5-6 yards down the field. If we back up just a tad here, we have Ventrell Miller at the catch right here. So You know, he could take this play off. He could say, all right, I mean, he's probably going to get some yards and he's probably going to get upfield. But, you know, we got some secondary players back there. It wasn't really my responsibility, so I'm going to take this play off. That's not Ventrell Miller. He's going to chase him down the field. Boom! Punch the ball out. A left-handed punch. I love that even more. Look at this. Here, bam, ready to go. Big turning point in the game. Should have given Florida a little bit more momentum. Good game overall. Enjoyed rewatching this game. But love that, man. I love that. Just looking for the ball, man. It's like sometimes you can teach this, but sometimes you can't. And a guy that's just always looking to get the ball, you know, get after the ball, right? And that's what he does there. Good job with the punch. Creates a turnover. That's it, man. Get some momentum. I mean, the Jags need turnovers, and they need people that are thinking turnovers. So good to see, and hopefully he has this kind of mindset here in Jacksonville. All right, I just want to look at his ability to blitz because his sack numbers don't pop off the page at you. He doesn't get much credit for it. But when you actually watch his film and see how effective he is, the numbers don't always point to how effective he can be. You guys know I like his acceleration. So he can be either a delayed blitzer or at the line of scrimmage blitzer. And I think the Jags see this in him and want to utilize that. So we're going to go through this quickly here. Ventrell Miller here at the snap against Texas A&M. He's going to get in there, put pressure on the quarterback, almost leads to an interception. Good job there. Moving on to the next one, we have Tennessee. We're going to look at a delayed blitz here. He's going to line up here to the field. At the snap, delayed, comes in, hits the quarterback. Again, another bad throw because he gets there quick. Good job on the blitz. Moving on to the next play. A&M again. We're going to see him blitzing right here. Lines up. Quarterback, they complete the play, but I mean, he gets there quick, and you know, better coverage there could lead to something good. Here against Utah, we're going to see him lined up here. He's going to blitz again, coming up the middle, right past the center. Going to make the quarterback get outside, and for a gain of 1, pretty much a wasted play. So all of that leads to pressure here, and then we're going to see in the LSU game, he's lined up here. He's finally going to get home on a blitz. Nice delayed blitz here, gets to the quarterback, sack. Good night. I mean, again, a better blitzer than he gets credit for is what I'm trying to say. He's quick, he accelerates well, and I think that's going to allow him to do good things for the Jags. I don't know why I like this play so much. It just kind of makes me laugh a little bit, and it also kind of shows his football IQ here, right? He's just 2020 against Georgia. He's in the Mike linebacker role, and he's trying to communicate like what to do to this other linebacker here. And you're going to see him pre-snap. You can just watch his body language. He tells him to scoot over 3 times. Tell him like scoot over, scoot over, scoot over. He's trying to tell him to scoot over, and look what happens to the play. Zone read, outside, first down, because they went to the side he was telling him to go. I mean, he was like, get out there. Now, it's just funny to me. He doesn't get a lot of credit for being a like high IQ guy. He gets credit for being a good tackler, being strong, reading the plays well. But I mean, just like kind of sees what's happening before the snap. This kind of stuff happens all the time. Watching the film and like watching the game, you see him as the captain of the defense and kind of telling the players what to do. And I think when he gets behind Aluakon for a couple of years, you could see this really blossom into a guy who could be the captain of a defense. So I'm looking forward to see this develop, and I think it could be something that is being undervalued with his ability to wrap his mind around defenses and what's happening and where everyone needs to be on the field. All right, guys, thanks for watching another Jaguars United film breakdown. I really appreciate you spending the time watching the video. Make sure you thumbs up the video. Leave a comment what you think Ventrell Miller will do on the Jags, and make sure to subscribe and follow everything you know what to do. I really appreciate it. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. And until then, go Jags.